My name is Chris Shepard. I'm also known as 10 Magnet, and I'm one of the senior instructors here at Love Systems. I've been in this since the very beginning, basically, since it was since the pickup community, if you want to call it that, was an online message board. And I'll introduce myself a little bit. I got into this because I was never very good with women. I was a bit of a nerd in high school. I'd sit in the back and read like the New Yorker and stuff like that, and I had a hard time relating with the other like 16-year-olds in my classes. And I thought, for me, it was a realization that you could learn to be better with women, right? It's a skill. It's not a trait that you have, like, here's how attractive you are, there's nothing you can do to change it, or here's how attractive you are, the only way you can do better than that is by cheating in some kind of sense. It was when I realized that it is a skill, like playing guitar, or like making, or writing, or making art. We get better at it by practicing our skills and by pushing our boundaries. It's about building a strong self-image, all right? Because the way you see yourself is going to come out in the stories you tell, all right? And you want to see yourself as a certain kind of person. And if you see yourself that way, you're going to tell these stories that naturally communicate your self-image, right? It's about being a good conversationalist, because conversation a lot of time involves a lot with stories. And if you do it wrong, you can be a braggart, or you can be a bore. You can be any one of these terrible things that women sort of detest, that women wind up dating anyways, but you can be better than that. It's about cultivating and communicating an attractive character, okay? It's about becoming an interesting person and then being able to express that interesting person to the people around you. And about identifying and understanding your audience, because one of the big flaws that storytellers do is when if you don't know where your audience is coming from, if you're not able to empathize with them, you're not able to communicate with them properly. It's about communicating, strong narrative about your life. And dates. If you're going on a date, who here runs out of things to say on a date? Yeah, everybody, right? There's always these awkward silences, and storytelling is about plowing through them. And about just preparing that level of material you need. And I don't like calling it material, but you need to keep. If you want to go on a big long date with a girl, you need sometimes 5 hours of conversation. It's hard, and storytelling is one of the key things that's going to help you get through that in a way that's going to be interesting. And also, it's useful throughout a relationship, because again, storytelling is really about communication, and your communication skills are helpful in life. So, what are the elements of a good story? Number one thing is, good stories are about characters, all right? Guys, we tend to do this. Especially people who are boring, they focus on plot. A story is not about a plot. It's not about, I did this, and then I did this, and then this happened, and then I did this, and I did that. That is a boring story, all right? As men tend to be driven towards plot-driven stories. Like if you look at the television shows and the books that men tend to consume, it's sci-fi and action, where it's mysteries and stuff like that, where there's a little twist at the end, and it's like, how are they gonna defuse the bomb? We want to know how they defuse the bomb, right? That's all plot-driven stuff. When you look at the stories that women are interested in, and especially the stories and just good literature, the best versions of stories that men are also interested in. And even things like, good comedy, like 30 Rock is a great comedy because you feel like there's all these different characters that you kind of understand, or like Seinfeld, right? Seinfeld was about the characters. All they would do, they had these, 4 or 5 characters that all had these traits. You knew them. You knew how they would react in a certain situation. And all the writers had to do is take these 5 ridiculous people and then put them, just add one little change to their life. Like all of a sudden, the greatest soup restaurant opens down the street from Jerry's house, but the guy is a jerk. And you just put all these characters into the situation, and the story flows naturally from these characters in the situation. You are going to be the main character in most of your stories. That's what it's about, and that's why it's about communicating. That's why storytelling is so tied up with comfort and with building really solid game. Okay, building really solid connection with a woman. You are exposing your character when you're telling these stories. That's what it's really about. It's not what happened to you. All right, she doesn't care about what happened to you. It's who you are and how that story reflects who you are.